Is that time already? Yeah, it is. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time once again on this Wednesday evening, the 23rd of September. The weather, of course, remains overall very, very quiet. We've had a quiet couple of months, ever since June, where we had several episodes of severe weather and a lot of rain, of course. We haven't had a whole lot of excitement here. We've had a lot of very pleasant weather with sunshine, and we've had some hot days as well. But I'm kind of longing for something a little more interesting to talk about, despite how much I'm enjoying not having to run the heat or the air conditioning and that sort of thing. Our weather this evening, of course, is crystal clear. We had a few popcorn fair weather clouds earlier on. Those have since dissipated, and we will just be clear and tranquil as we go through the overnight. Still keeping an eye on this low off the coast of the southeastern U.S. This will continue to be kind of a pain in the neck for parts of Florida, and especially as we go towards the very end of the week and into the weekend for the Carolinas. If you know anybody vacationing in Myrtle Beach, yikes. They're not happy with the forecast for the next several days down there. Also, some showers out across the Plain States this evening, but again, nothing real exciting across the country. We have heat where you'd expect it to be, the southwest, southern plains. Elsewhere, there's not a whole lot of warm air. Pretty typical map for mid-September, although it's above average in a lot of places, but not by a whole lot in much of the region. All right, let's real quick take a look at the models as we head towards the weekend here. I'll show you the GFS model and skip ahead to Friday. This is what we're going to be watching as we head towards the weekend. This system, you've got this big high parked over southeastern Canada. Then you have a low down here, and the pressure gradient between the two is just going to pile up the wind and the water for the tidal basin and heading down towards Outer Banks of North Carolina, beaches of the Carolinas, just making for a real lousy period down there. Does this have implications on our forecast? I do think that starting Friday afternoon, we're going to notice more clouds. I think there will be a shield of high clouds that gets up to about here Friday afternoon. There'll be high clouds. There'll be some milky sunshine filtered through those clouds. And I do think overall the weekend will be noticeably cloudier. Here's a look at Saturday's map showing the moisture getting up to maybe about I-70, PA Turnpike, and then heading across Cambridge, Zanesville, Columbus. I don't think we see rain up here, but I do think Saturday turns out to be a fairly cloudy day across the Mahoning and Shenango valleys. Here's a look at Sunday. The GFS would have you believe that maybe there's a renegade shower trying to sneak in. Not really buying that at this point. But again, I do think Sunday is a cloudier day. And then a real quick peek at Monday here. Any threats for moisture probably out of here, although it may still be kind of cloudy. And of course, Sunday evening is the total lunar eclipse. Read all about it on ericwfmj.com. Going to keep a close eye on this product. This is the cloud forecast off the GFS model, same model I just showed you. Now, of course, if you're into the weather, there's a lot of models out there, but I can only show you the GFS graphically this far out. Can't show you the European due to copyright stuff. But anyway, here's the GFS Sunday evening. This is this morning's run showing a lot of clouds around at eclipse time. Now, this afternoon's run showed not as many clouds. We've got our work cut out for us as far as the forecast for the eclipse Sunday evening. Right now, I think it'll average about partly cloudy. Hopefully, it won't turn worse than that, because this is going to be a really cool eclipse to check out. So we're going to keep a close eye on the trends as far as cloud cover as we go into Sunday. The eclipse gets underway in earnest as we go towards 9:30, 10 o'clock on Sunday. We'll, of course, be posting all about it over the next few days, and I already posted about it on my weather blog. All right, we've got a week left in September. Let's take a look at some of the records for warmth in September. Warmest on record, 1931, 70.5, the average temperature. The average temperature is taken from averaging together all the highs and all the lows, not just the highs. So that's the record, 1931. Here's where we sit, and this does not include today's numbers. We're at fourth place, 68.4. Today was in the mid-70s, above average, so this number will climb. And I have a strong suspicion that with all the warmth that's coming over the next several days, we're going to make a run at this warmest September on record, 1931. We may very well break this before the end of the month, because there's no let-up, it looks like, before the end of the month to this warm temperature regime. We should be in the upper 60s for highs now. So we're going to be above that through the rest of the month, and I've got a pretty good feeling that we're going to end up with the warmest September on record here in Youngstown. What a year. Coldest February, almost the wettest June, third wettest, and now probably the warmest September. A lot of records this year, or near records anyway. Speaking of precipitation, I don't think we're in danger of cracking into the top 10 driest Septembers on record. Right now, we are at 2.01 inches. Now, it's hard to believe we've had that much, but it's come basically in 2 days. They've both been on Saturdays. Other than that, of course, it hasn't rained much, but we're sitting at 2.01. Actually, last year it was drier. 2014, just last year, we only had 1.9 inches worth of rain in September. The record only 0.27 in 1960. You know, these records are not going to be touched. So this is not going to be any kind of record-shattering month for precipitation, but again, temperature-wise, it may very well be. Well, while we're on the subject of precipitation, I've been talking about how October is likely to see this pattern continue. It's likely to be a warmer than average October. What about the rain? The climate models have definitely trended towards a drier and drier month. They were advertising as recently as a week ago we may be a little above average in October, but now the models are really hinting at a big dry area in the Northeast and perhaps back to the Ohio Valley. Bad news for, the soil moisture and that sort of thing. Pretty good news, though, for the foliage season. These warm, sunny days and calm, cool nights are great for kickstarting the foliage process, getting that chlorophyll to shut down. And, of course, the lack of wind and the lack of rain keeps the leaves on the trees longer. So I think we're going to have a really nice foliage season this time around. We'll peak probably between the 15th and 25th of October. Thanks for watching tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. More geeky stuff online on my weather blog and on wfmj.com/weather at about 7:30, 7:45 Thursday evening. And you can check out my fresh 7-day forecast tonight on 21 News at 11. I'll see you then.